Good morning and welcome to another live with Heather and I. And welcome, well, first of all, welcome, Heather. It's been
Thank you
a
very
hectic
much.
morning for us, isn't it?
It is. Good morning.
So today we're going to talk about marketing your book.
Yeah, very important.
Yeah, so things have changed a little bit in recent times with marketing because I know you've just launched your book, which became a bestseller.
Yeah.
But normally, where we used to be able to pre-launch on Amazon, the pre-launch wasn't available this time.
hmm
So tell us a little bit about what you did, how you got around that.
Okay, so I'm a co-author in a book, Be Life for Belief, and we really wanted to get this book in front of as many people. Yep, there it is.
So,
And we really wanted to get this book in front of as many people as we could. And part of that was to try and make sure that it was on the bestseller list. That was part of the strategy, really, to get it pushed as wide and as far. It's not always, quite often people, that mightn't be a big priority for a lot of people, self-publishing. It was for us, there were 20 of us involved. Um, and it was very different because with Amazon, as you said, there's no pre-launch option. There used to be a pre-order option.
mm,
So in terms of letting people know about it, you want to be letting them know weeks in advance of your book being published. You're trying to let people know about it, make sure they know. And the onus is on you, especially if you're self-publishing, to be telling people. But with there being no pre-order option now available on Amazon, Donna Kennedy, she was leading on the book, so she set up a pre-order button on her website so that people could go through, pre-order the book, so that whenever all the sales then could be put through on Amazon.
and I know the book got delayed a little bit, didn't it? Because
Because
now
with
my
so
end,
many pre-orders,
sorry?
we had so many pre-orders, thankfully. Yep.
So my understanding is that a little bit to do with the timing coming up to Christmas. There was a lot of big books going out, and Amazon just needed a little bit of time and to find a slot to fit you in
Yeah.
so that you could get your pre-launch, get your bestseller, and get your book up and running.
Yeah. And I do want to say there, I mean, there's no, in terms of trying to get our book in front of as many people, you can't guarantee a bestseller. It is something that we wanted in terms of making sure people knew about the book and that we reached people that we mightn't be able to reach, people who mightn't know us or mightn't learn about the book. But yes, with Amazon, so our book launched on the 5th of November. Remember the 5th of November. So right coming up to Christmas. And you have all the celebrity cookbooks and a lot of the big Christmas books coming up. And thankfully, we had huge numbers of pre-orders, huge numbers of people who had bought the book who were supporting us. Um, yeah, so Amazon had to find a slot. So I think there was really a couple of week delay in people getting those books. And that's okay. That's just the way it was because, as you say, they had to get a slot to get them printed.
Yeah.
With self-publishing and when your book's on Amazon, normally as people order, they're being published. But when you have a huge number of pre-orders, that's a lot going through at one time in the run up to Christmas.
Perhaps they'll learn and put the pre-orders back in so
Maybe they will.
a little better.
Be fantastic if they did because it's a really good facility. And then, like I say, because that wasn't there, Donna set up a facility on her website that all of the co-authors then were able to use, so that people, all the bank details, the pre-orders, all of the ordering was done as far as the customer was concerned. They didn't need to do anything else.
Yeah. So going back to the marketing, because that is one of the absolute key things with book sales.
Yeah.
Now, I know for me, some of the things I've done is I've got my books. Obviously, I've done my launch on my books. And I think we're going to touch on launches if we've got time.
Yeah.
You do the launch on your book, and then you get this enormous sales, and then the sales start to fizzle.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got to keep the momentum going to actually keep the sales going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, one of the things I do is obviously I blog a lot about my books, so I'm creating interest in it. I actually create when after a year when the book sales for me actually do start to drop down, I create information products, and that reinvents the book again and reinvents stuff to go with it.
Yeah.
But what tips do you give people for how they are going to market that book?
Get really comfortable with putting yourself out there and talking about it. I mean, like with
30, did you do 30 days or something, and you were talking about the book or something?
Talking about lots of things, yeah, and the book was a massive focus, because people want to know, and who's going to tell them if you don't? You know, if you're the author, you know, being proud. What I would say to people is, to step into it, to step into letting people know yourself. Don't wait for anybody else or for any other way. You know, whenever you write a book, I don't know about you, Karen, but you're so proud. You put so much work into it. You've done it for people to share a story. It's not about you. By the time once it's written, it's about how are people going to receive it? What are people going to think about it? So you need to be telling them about it.
Yeah.
And I know with like during lockdown, you wrote Phoenix, and you were telling us about it all the time, that it was coming for weeks in advance, preparing people. Had your launch date. We were the same with The Life of Belief. Letting people know about it, what it was about, why we'd written it, what our aims were for it, showing them the cover, all the little steps along the way. We did lots of different posts, obviously coming up to Christmas, about maybe it being a really good, not maybe at all, about it being a really good Christmas gift option as well. And we using our networks, using Facebook, all the social media, especially at the minute, it's so different because everything was online. Even the launch, you know, there was nothing in person.
And that makes a big difference, because normally you can do a launch through your library or through a local seminar or something like that, where they'll allow you to get up there and then you can sell books afterwards. But because everything went online this year, it was totally different. And one of the things I did was I had a blanket image of my book cover without any of the text on it. And I started taking quotes out of the book and putting those into Facebook groups that I was in, with author of Phoenix as my byline across the bottom of it. And I just put some quotes in. I had Phoenix as the heading, quotes, and then Karen Newton, author of Phoenix. And that generated interest, and people hadn't seen that done before. So, because I put quotes out every Friday. I put quotes out into groups. So I just used my own book cover and put those quotes out.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, actually. And even to give like little snippets, you know, I remember somebody had said to me about, would I read a wee bit, you know, and I did that, you know. But that's a really good idea, like wee snippets. And seeing the cover, there's something in seeing the cover of somebody's book, isn't there, that it makes it real, that it's coming. And I think because of the ethos of both of our most recent books was really around inspiring people and empowering people, you know, coming through. They were written during a global pandemic. So it's lovely to be able, that's a great idea to be able to put quotes in. Yeah.
So, I know we're running out of time here now.
We are, yeah.
Quick tip for anyone listening.
In terms of marketing your book, I would say it is up to you if you're self-publishing, thinking about all your networks, everybody you know, asking people to share. You know, I find people were so happy to share, but you don't think unless somebody actually explicitly asks you, would you please share this? Would you like it? And they were so grateful to be asked. So let people know and ask them to share it.
And timing.
Very important.
Don't try and launch just before Christmas when you're up against all the big names that are coming out.
Worked for us.
No,
but in general.
No, I feel that when you're trying to launch, the timing is really important. And you're doing that build up, and now you can't do pre launches on Amazon. You don't want to be competing with other people who are doing famous names who are doing big launches. I mean, I had exactly the same when I released Phoenix.
Yeah.
You know, some of the books that were coming out, they were
That's right.
absolutely mega names in the industry. I didn't know they were there, and I was going on to see how my book sales were going, and I'm seeing trending and the names that were there, and I'm thinking, oh my God, they're in my category, and I'm up against them.
I know. And you can't predict, you can't know all of that. But
No,
like you say, letting people know weeks in advance. Don't wait. If you're putting it onto Amazon and it's going to come out in 3 days, 3 days before is not the time to start telling people.
yeah,
Prepare them weeks in advance.
yeah. Great. So that's another lot of tips. We'll be back probably next week, I would say, with some more tips for how to get your book self-published. So thanks for that, Heather.
Thanks so much, Karen.